I am building a cozy beach farm after surviving an airship crash and getting stranded on a remote island completely from scratch in cozy Minecraft. Realizing that rescue wasn't coming, stumbling upon hidden treasure left by smugglers, and meeting the ghostly sorcerer Sunya, it was time to do something truly relaxing. In this video, we're gathering materials, building a barn, as well as a cereal field and a forest garden to plant 8 different crops in their unique habitats. If you're curious about the story of this adventure, make sure to check out this playlist. And now, let's jump into the building. I had to start off by gathering a serious amount of materials with the limited tools and skills I had. I was still worried about wildlife in the nearby forest, so I put this forgotten little boat to work again and rowed over to a nearby island. I managed to gather all the wood I needed for the first few buildings and quickly learned why you should watch your step near coconut trees. I then headed over to the forest bay, where I saw some coal earlier, and also to salvage some birchwood from the floating wreckage of the airship. Unfortunately, this exposed lapis lazuli required a higher level of mining, but the coal wasn't a problem. I picked some bluebells for the inevitable decoration session, and as night was drawing near, I ran home. The next objective was to gather stone. I visited a cave near one of the smugglers' hideouts and hacked at the walls until my pickaxe lasted. Cobblestone and travertine were the best options for the vision I had in mind, as they suited the beach color scheme very well and required no special tools to obtain. No matter how cozy this world was, monsters appeared, and I had to be very careful because, as you can see, my health was still just a few hearts. The cave did let me down when I thought I stumbled upon a freshwater spring, only to find out it was really seawater trickling in. Still, I made it back to base with pockets full of building materials. Thinking ahead, I continued by digging some dirt, keeping the lay of the land in mind. I like leaving things as natural as possible, like thinning a forest instead of cutting all the trees down in an area, or following the natural slopes of the hills when gathering soil. I bet that translates to real life very nicely. As it was still mid-afternoon, I spent some time clearing all the beach grass around the area and laid down the plans for the build. Okay friends, let's do this planning process together. So I've got my pen here, I've got my little graphic tablet. Maybe some of you will get some extra relaxation from the sound of the pen on the tablet. I've got the keyboard here, standard drawing setup, and I've got this map of the island, the Perisles, as we have learned from the smuggler's note it's called, loaded into GIMP, which is just my go-to software for quick sketches and lines and whatnot. And we're going to plan our cozy beach farm right here, right now, together. So let's indicate first the existing structures. This right here is the house, including this tree, which is not really part of the house, but it very nicely complements the visuals of it, yeah? And we've got this little woolen roof, this canvas roof, under which we can do some storage or just chill there if you'd like to. Little barbecue place or something like that. So this is the house. We're not going to disturb that unless maybe we're upgrading it. We've got the ruined lighthouse here. This is the ruined, I will say ruined harbor, and then we will indicate the other parts of it as well. So this was the lighthouse right here. Can even draw a little light that once probably guided ships into safe haven, but then this fell over. As you can see, this red and white debris, it kind of fell over this way and fell on the dock, completely ruined it. It's now gone. Maybe that's going to be another project to restore it. So the ruined docks are here. Yeah, it's quite an irregular outline because of course they are ruined. And yeah, this part is also included. This here is just a lot of debris. It's just a lot of clay, white and red, and wooden beams and whatnot. We've got the KS Seamule, the ship here, the shipwreck. You can see this faint outline. This is the mast over here. This is the ship that Magpie and Whipbird, the two smugglers, used to bring in the contraband metals into the land here, as we have learned from the notes. Of course, the smugglers' hideouts, I think one of them was somewhere around here, but I'm not quite sure. The other one was in this little ravine part, but we don't care about that right now. We would just like to add the things that we're planning to build here. So first of all, I was thinking we would like to produce a bunch of things on this farm. So what we will first need is a storage area, a barn. And this area here looks like there's plenty of flat space. So let's say we would like to add a barn over here. This is going to be a barn. Yeah, that makes sense. Could even be multi-story. Could even have an underground level. Maybe we could keep things there that we would like to keep cool. Of course, you know how wine cellars and other underground storage facilities work. It's quite cool underground, and I think it's helpful in this very sunny beach weather. Then I would like to have a reasonable sized greenhouse for some of the main crops. And the way greenhouses work in this Modpack is that if the crops are close enough to glass, I believe, they will grow out of season. So this is going to be quite an important mechanic for us to keep in mind. I was thinking we could add that greenhouse over here. So this is the greenhouse. Greenhouse. The barn text is a little bit in the way, but we know what's happening. We don't have to worry about that. Now, after the greenhouse is done, I was thinking we could have a couple of smaller thematic buildings for different kinds of crops. So maybe a little dark hut for mushrooms, maybe a smaller greenhouse, maybe just flower bed type, open air, little boxes for the crops. Lots of possibilities. So I would like to have them here so that we still have a clear passage to the island if we would like to go there. We don't have to walk around the buildings too much. So these are going to be the miscellaneous crops. Maybe they will also end up being very important, but I'm not sure what kind of crops they will be. Of course, we've got the berries, the sweet berries, we've got hazelnuts, we've got walnuts. I believe we have some oat seeds, cabbage seeds, and barley seeds. Now I'm not quite certain which of the oat and barley you can use for bread and eating, and which you can use for brewing beer, because both are an option in this mod pack. So we will see, but we will likely house some of those little plant friends in these smaller buildings there. Now, one more option, if we find the proper crops for it, would be, as you can see, we have this slopey area that goes like in like 4 levels down to the beach. This here is a little bit steeper over there, but this is quite a nice area, very slopey. And if you've seen rice plantations in real life, of course, or grapes, the way they are grown in rows in these gently sloping hills, that's what I'm imagining here. So of course all of this, maybe like that. This can be rice or grapes, if we find any, of course, because there's no guarantee that we're going to find those, and so far I don't believe I've stumbled upon any. But we can do in another episode, we can do a big exploration round in this entire area. Once we have a bit better armor and maybe higher health, we can go to the forest here to the northwest and scavenge around. Maybe we'll find some interesting plants there as well. Everything is possible there in the future. So that's what I'm imagining here. And of course all of this area and this area, and even within the greenhouse and within those small buildings, will need to be filled up with dirt instead of sand. I tried growing some oak trees from saplings that I brought over from the island when I was cutting trees. There's a couple of grass blocks here, as you can see. I tried growing them there, but they just didn't grow. So I'm thinking we would need to have maybe a thicker layer of dirt, or maybe just a wider area. So that's what we're going to do. Speaking of dirt and trees, I would like to have in this area, I will indicate it with this squiggly dashed line, in this area some kind of a forest where we could have trees, obviously, for harvesting building materials. Oops, I'm sorry, that's my bad. Or bushes, like, forest crops, sweet berries, hazelnuts, all kinds of berries and nuts that we're basically going to find, because I think in the forest there's quite a few of them. So all of those are going to be here. And so this is going to be the forest and nuts and berries. Yes, it's already starting to shape. It's already starting to take a very nice shape, don't you think? Now, one final thing I was thinking is sugarcane. We've got plenty around the area. I think these two green blocks are also sugarcane, which also means that they don't mind growing next to salt water. So we're going to use that resilience of theirs. And here I would like to plant some sugarcane to use for paper and of course sugar. Sugar cane. And so far I think that's plenty. So we do have to build the barn, the greenhouse, the smaller buildings. Maybe we'll have to build a fence around this area. Maybe some fence around this area as well. But of course a big part of the work is going to be filling all of this up with dirt. So let's not lose any time and let's begin building. Finally, it was time to build. Going by the plan, the barn was our priority. Little variety was available in terms of materials, and we couldn't yet just mine anything, and I didn't have enough coal to smell brick variants of stone or travertine. Thus, I went for cobblestone for the corner pillars, travertine for the walls, and stripped oak variants for the beams and roof support. I covered the floor with mud bricks for a bit of realism. While weeding the entire area was a handful, all the collected beach grass could be turned into thatch, which was essential for the roof, giving the build a very nice look, rustic but vivid, fitting perfectly into the landscape. This was a lot of fun, despite all the reminders that I haven't done a proper building project in a while. I started with the pillars, then the walls between them, using stairs to avoid a completely flat surface. It didn't yet look amazing, but this was just the base. Crates, ivy, clutter and more decorative elements would be added later. I followed a simple tapering pattern to produce a classic rounded barn roof shape. Fortunately, the thatch roof blocks had various angles, which worked perfectly in combination here. I made sure to leave a lot of overhang on both directions to really sell that heapy, sketchy look. After adding some support beams for the so to speak gallery part, which would just be an incomplete upper floor, I finished the front and back walls with birch wood, some cut on the nearby island, some salvaged from the airship. The facade especially needed extra detail, so I added 2 small ventilation windows, a protruding entryway, and a few more things to break it up. Leaving detailed decoration for the end of this video, the next part of the project was the forest and tree farm area. I wanted to make this look fairly organic, so after filling a rough idea of the area with dirt, I added some scatter around its edge. Not only did it look more natural, but it allowed us to grow coconut trees, as those take root only in sand. The patch connected to a grass block already present, so it would eventually be completely green. For protection and a place of torches, I surrounded the dirt with a wooden palisade. For now I planted all the saplings I had from the trees earlier, keeping a random layout. Berries, hazelnut bushes and other plants I put aside for the decoration phase. The next day I set out with uncertain intentions for the miscellaneous crop area. However, upon realizing I had barley, wheat and oat to plant, a thematic but diverse cereal field seemed like a great idea. I dug a trench for irrigation, then filled the surrounding area with dirt, sticking with the blurred lines. Sea winds sweep this area often, carrying sand and songs of grumpy sailors. No field would stay spotless clean for long. The sun was still far from its zenith, so I ventured west to find fresh water. Forgetful as I am, only now did I realize I had looted some armor from the first smuggler cache, allowing me to take a peek around the forest a bit more confidently. Despite my worries, these groves and gardens were a sight to behold. Luckily, avoiding the boars and bears and raven-rid skeletons, I didn't stumble upon water, but instead I found wild onions, beetroot, pumpkins, grape seeds and strawberries. Perfect timing. Finally, I managed to grab a bucketful from a cave spring and decided to risk the rest with seawater. If you haven't yet tried, I recommend you plant some seeds in real life. There is something special about watching a tiny life sprout from the dirt, witnessing a geranium explode into bloom, picking homegrown mint leaves for a refreshing summer drink, being there when a plant bears seeds and seeing the new generation break the dirt. It is simply magical. Stepping out after a dinner of berries, confident to light up the forest fence, I was quickly scared back into the house by hordes of monsters lurking outside. I continued the work in the morning, raising the palisade and adding lanterns as efficiently as possible, since I still didn't have a good supply of coal. Finally, the time has come for the last 2 most rewarding tasks: planting the remaining crops, then decorating the entire area. Barn, surroundings, forest, everything to its absolute cottagecore best. Alright friends, so we're going to do this decoration session live in good old Froghead ASMR fashion. The way we used to do it, the way we like to do it. So what I've done here is I essentially brought the forest foliage over from the forest over here, and we've already got this. This is a coconut tree. This is swamp oak, I think. Those are some normal, regular old oak trees. And we've got the strawberries here growing nicely, which means I think that it's spring. That's also good to know. We've got some of these beautiful hazelnut bushes, and of course the red sweet berries that we already know. And what I've got in my inventory is the amaryllis flowers. I've got some beech bush and the taller kind, even though the icon looks a little bit short. And I've got this spicy wildflowers, which I think just refers to the color, as well as some oak sticks and sand rocks. So we're going to give this forest area a very nice, beautiful color palette. I'm going to begin with the amaryllis flowers, and I think amaryllis, it doesn't mind being here. Its natural habitat is usually tropical and subtropical slopes, beach slopes as far as I'm aware. From the pictures I've seen, it's a bit more rocky, but I think it's just going to be fine here. So as much as I want to surround all of the trees with flowers and bushes to make those nice, lush and blooming patches, I can't, because of course I need to access some of these to cut them down. So what I will do is I'm going to use these around the bigger trees that I'm not going to cut down at, I believe, any point, because these are here to, well, give the forest its forestiness, yeah? And the smaller trees I will cut down until, of course, we eventually get a bigger tree growing from one of the saplings, and then we can just leave that. But in general, oh, that's a lot of leaves. We've got a sapling too, but in general, this is going to be half decoration, you know, half aesthetic, and half utility area. So we are going to come here for some wood whenever we need it, and that's a good reason why that's a good thing that we have 3 different kinds here. I think I might cut this shorter one down, but the semi-short one right there, that one we can leave, I believe. Let me replant this already, and we can already surround it with some flowers. I don't think it's going to mind it being surrounded with these beautiful flowers. And since we're going to have all of these beautiful red berries over here as well, I'm just going to expand upon that theme, and I'm going to add some more red. You know, it's not like we're really going to use these blocks here. There's not really, we don't really need to leave that space. So let me just, yeah, that's going to look good. Already you can see how well I think this synergizes in terms of color. And I'm going to plant some around this tree as well, just in case it's feeling a little lonely. Alright, so now we're going to follow up with the beech bushes. One thing I didn't consider was grass. We could bring some grass over as well, maybe even beach grass, but I think beach grass only grows on sand. So let me actually pop into the house and check out. I think I've got beach grass. My apologies. But I'm not entirely certain about normal grass. I don't think I took any of that from the forest. We've got some other flowers over here. We've got some sugarcane, going to be important quite soon. And we've got this beach grass. That's good. Let me see if I can actually place that somewhere. If we place it on the sand, that's also fine. It's still going to add to the general lushness of the area. It's going to be nice. Let me just grab a couple berries and eat them while we're here. Okay, it does plant. It does plant on normal grass or dirt blocks as well, which is nice. But we're primarily going to use this towards the beach over here, because it can be planted on sand as well. And maybe this end of the garden, this end of the forest enclosure, is a little bit overgrown, yeah? maybe we can actually put some composters here. You know, it's like a little ditch where you would naturally collect, natural, I don't want to say garbage, but natural waste to compost. So it makes sense to put them here. I will actually do that in a second, I think. But let me just place all of this beach grass that we still had from earlier. This is going to be the overgrown end of the garden. Now, underneath the tree still, we can place some of these sticks. These are very tiny details, but I think when it's all done and you walk through the garden, eventually you will notice some of them. And you know, if we get some visitors, maybe they will probably also appreciate it. You can't change the shape of these, but that's okay. You can put them here and there. You know, some of them might fall from the canopy, not the main body, the trunk of the tree. But of course, wherever we put these, we can't put anything else. This still counts as a block. So I think this is okay. That's a fair amount. Maybe over here, a couple. Just to break things up, you know, just to keep things diverse and interesting. Yeah. Two next to each other, why not? Let's continue with these beech bushes and tall beech bushes. So again, I'm going to start at the beach end, the one that's closer to the water over here. This one can also be planted on sand, and maybe I will go ahead with the tall ones first, because this is again the overgrown end. Oh, sun's going down soon. Gotta be quick about this. But don't worry, friends. We're not in a hurry anywhere. Yes, why not? Oops, underneath the tree as well. Now I've locked myself out like a silly person. Let me see if I can jump back here. Come on now. There we go, we can do it. Also, not a bad idea to place some around the existing bushes, like over here. I think it goes well, the color scheme. Do you see the hazelnut bush and the beach grass bush, or beach bush just normal? Let me place a tall one over here as well, at these areas that we're not really going to access anyway. So it's fine if we just fill them up with clutter. Okay, perfect. Couple more around the trees that we're not going to cut down, like this one. Excellent. One here as well, maybe a tall one over there. Oops, there's a stick. Tall one over there. How about this tree? Could this tree use some beach bush friends? Maybe one here, maybe a couple down there. Very nice. And finally maybe over here, another one. And we can just place a couple here and there, as I said, to really sell that overgrown look. Perfect. Okay, it's getting darker, and of course the inside or the center of this garden is not completely lit just yet, so we gotta be careful, but I think we're good here. I think that's everything I wanted to place. Let's continue. We've got some sand rocks and spicy wildflowers to place. Let me just grab a lantern here, and also let me just eat some berries, because I want my health full in case we encounter any pesky monsters, or in case I can't watch my step and I walk into a prickly bush. Perfect. Let's eat up. I have to... Oh, I think I heard a spider. That's okay. We gotta figure something out for this part, because... Oh yes, hello spider. And there's a skeleton right behind it. We gotta figure something out for that part, because I think normal fence gates don't connect to this palisade kind of fence, sadly. But don't worry, we'll figure something out. That sound you just heard, by the way, was a level up. At the end of this video, we're going to level all of these skills up. We've got 3 points so far from collecting all the materials and a couple of monsters I managed to defeat along the way. But as I said, let's continue with placing the rocks, starting from the overgrown end as usual. No, there's some zombies. Oh, there's a zombie in a chef head. Interesting. Uh-oh, and I heard a skeleton too. Let's be careful. Oh yes, do you see the skeleton with the raven on top of its head? That's some special kind of monster. Alright, zombies, please, just let me decorate in peace, okay? I'm not... Oh, goodness gracious, they're not going to let me, are they? That's alright, we can... Let's go, let's get some rest. And let's come back in the morning. Try to avoid that skeleton, because I haven't forgotten that there's one there. As you see, we've still got 5 hearts. And we've got some chainmail armor and leather pants that we picked up along the way from the smuggler's cache, but it's not everything. So let's try to... Oh, there's 2 skeletons over there right now, I think. And the zombies are coming around. Looks like we're mostly safe in here. I don't think they can make that jump. Goodness. Friends, can you please leave me alone? Okay. Ay. This friend surprised me. There's a card pack as well. Lots of good loot, but I'm getting a little bit tense over here from all of these monsters. I just want to continue the decoration. It's still early, so I'm just going to try to make a run for it and dodge all of these skeletons. Yes, perfect. I think one shot another, so now they're going to leave us alone, hopefully. That was the plan. And we can go to bed. Very nice. Yes, they are fighting outside. Oops. All of these silly sounds. I'm sorry. I turn the volume down. Okay, let's check if the coast literally is clear. Lots of creepers I see creeping around. Oh, there's a zombie. Hello friend, I'm sorry, but you gotta go. Acrobatic type of guy. There's some arrows and bones. The bones are really nice. Oh, and look at that. The oats and barley and wheat are all growing. So I think we can ascertain that it is springtime, which is very good. It's a good time to start a farm, isn't it? Alright. Let's see. I think we can continue the decoration without too many interruptions. So we were placing these rocks, and that's what I want to continue doing. So these are of course sandstone rocks, because as you can see we are on the beach. And these are just, you can just pick them up. Actually these generate in the game because of a mod that I have installed. And you can just pick them up very easily. Nothing is required for them. Hello friend, could you please not? Okay, that was a little bit close. Let me eat some berries to make sure we're okay. I am sorry friends, all of this excitement in a relaxing, cozy farm building experience. I'm sorry, but don't worry. We're going to be fine. For now I think we can drink some salt water. That's going to be okay for the time being. But it is going to, yes, you can drink a little bit. If you drink too much, that's not good, but for now it's going to allow us to replenish the health. So, that's done very soon. The card pack we're going to put away for later. And the final thing that we have to place is the spicy wildflowers. So again, I'm going to start around the areas where there are already flowers or anything really, any other plants. And we're going to move out from there. I'm going to concentrate on these inner areas, the ones closer to the house. Not as much on the beach. Got 10 left. Let's make sure we place them properly. We can have a little wildflower carpet over here without any trees as well. Got 4 left. One more goes there. Another one there. Oops. This tree just jumped into life. Okay, let's give this tree some friends then, and I still have some beech bushes that we're going to use to make sure it okay, perfect. And friends, I think that is the garden complete. So we've got the sweet berries, the strawberries, we've got the hazelnut bushes, and we've got this beautiful garden, forest garden with some natural chaos in it. Let me know how you like it, and let's move on. Okay friends, onto the barn. Now before we do any decoration here, we've got some things to do. So, as you can see, our crops have grown very nicely, and since the hay bales and barley bales and wheat bales are going to be part of the barn decoration, as well as, of course, serving as food and ingredients for other things, I wanted to harvest them. I wonder if these are fully grown. That one was absolutely great. So I wanted to harvest them and replant them, so by the time we are finished with the rest of the decoration, excellent, we can add some hay bales and barley bales and oat bales. And of course we can replant some of this as well, because this field has much greater capacity than what we have planted now. So we've got 7 wheat seeds, 3 more barley seeds, and 19 oat seeds. Excellent. So this is the oat, correct? Yes, I think it is. Great. So I'm just going to stick with this side of the water, this kind of triangular area, for planting the oats. And if it's not enough, then we can expand later. But for now, that's okay. That's oh no, wait, that was also ripe and ready for harvest. So nice. And I'm going to... These grow really fast. That's very good. I'm going to plant some more. Amazing. Okay, the barley, oats, wheat. Okay, let's plant the barley. Barley is going to be over here on this side. That was also ready. Great. Okay, and onto the wheat. Right here. Because of course, what we've got right now is not nearly enough for a couple of bales, but we're going to get there. Okay, now let's see what we can do here in the barn. I was thinking that... Okay, no monsters. I thought there would be some, because sometimes they like to stick after sunrise. They like to stick around because it's dark in here, of course. But we're going to change that now. So I was thinking about a couple of things, and I put a lot of things in this chest. So let's begin with the entrance. I want to block this area so that, yeah, well, not that all the monsters can't really get in. And we're going to do that with these birch trapdoors and a couple of proper doors that we're going to place not there, but over here in a way that looks there we go. That goes there, and we're going to add all of these trapdoors here, just from the other side. It's a bit tricky, I'm sorry. I am not a master builder by any means, but I do like to try. It's not a competition. We're not shooting an action movie here. I know I say that too much, but it is true. Can I add one like perfect? Okay, yeah, that's nice. You can still see what's going on inside, but it's also blocked, so all the monsters can get in as easily. That's nice. I like how that looks. I think the swamp oak trapdoors, the texture has, it looks like as if there's glass in there, so it doesn't look that nice for this purpose. And the oak trapdoors are, they are like this upper section of the oak door. They have this iron looking crossbar, so again not so great, but the birch trapdoors look nice, and even in color they're not so different from the oak doors. Very nice. Maybe we can put some up there as well. We'll see. I was also thinking, I have these stripped oak logs. I was also thinking we could make some oak logs stick out here, if I can reach that somehow, to kind of break up this very even texture. Let me just grab some dirt so that we can climb things easily. I think I had some dirt here. Perfect. Because this is nice. It looks a lot like a barn, of course, but it's very uniform. And I think it would look good if there were some... Oops, I'm sorry. There were some logs sticking out of there. Maybe 1 block? Or 2 blocks? How does 2 blocks look? 2 blocks. Block. I think even that's okay. Even that is fine. Alright, let's do this at the other side as well, just to break things up again. Well, this is going to be a bit more complicated, but we're gonna manage it. Where am I? Where am I? We're going to need to build there. So here, and it's at that block. And then we need to jump a little bit. 1, 2. Okay, that's great. Now, I think those 2 are enough. Let me check it from a little bit further away. We can add a couple more maybe in the middle. I think... I think for now that's okay. I think for now that's fine. Let's do this on this side as well. And then we can go on to decorating and lighting up the inside and all that. So it's that one. And 1, 2. Perfect. And the last one. It's going to be here. It's that one. 1, 2. So nice. So nice. I would really want to sell that. It's nice how this looks. It looks very much like a barn. Of course, that traditional barn roof shape, kind of, you know, heaped up, taking on a natural kind of shape because of how the hay supports itself. But I also want to break things up. I don't like when something is too uniform. I like variety and texture and interesting little details. Alright, so next I'm going to open this. We need to do something about this, about these stairs over here. So let me just put stuff down that we don't need. I prepared these oak terrace stairs, and we need lots of oak slabs, but we need more oak slabs, so let me make some more, because we are going to have an upper level that's not complete. It's going to be incomplete. It's going to be just on the 2 sides. I think that should be fine, but let's make a little more, just so we use up all the oak planks. So just some extra storage space we're going to add, but let's remove these stairs. These are travertine, I think. Yes, cobble travertine stairs. And where are we going to go up? Should we have like a corner staircase? Or should we have one just here on the side? I think it's fine if we have one on the side. Let's start from here. And this way. Perfect. And again, this looks very much like a barn, you know, it's not these full stairs, but just... yeah, that's good for me. And so let me add this upper floor here, this upper level. That's going to allow us to store even more things here. I hope that's going to be enough. We also need, I could also make some fences that we put over here so that we don't fall when we're bringing in all the harvest, all the materials, all the crops and food and loot that we gather from everywhere in the world. Should we have the same thing on the other side, or should we? I'm thinking maybe we could just have a little crossing over here, just that much, yeah, and then finish this part up. We might need a couple more slabs, but we're going to take care of that in a minute. I'm also thinking we could free up a few slabs by adding some roof beams that we are going to need as well. Oops, my bad. I wanted to come down via that ladder, but I'm sorry that didn't work out. Let me just eat it up. Perfect. Gonna grab this because it's getting a little dark in here now that we've blocked that natural sunlight. And I'm thinking, since we want to add lanterns anyway, why not take some of these stripped oak logs, take the lanterns as well, and then we're going to, let's see, where's the middle here? How many blocks are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th. I think that will be fine. Let's do the 6th. So that one. And we're going to add it like this, so it's still going to constitute surface area up above, but it is also going to be a roof beam onto which we can hang some lanterns. And it connects nicely with the existing beams as well, so that's perfect. Yeah, it's not great because it hits the stairs. Okay, right now I don't mind that. I don't think that looks too bad. And we're going to do that from here as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's okay. They're quite central, but I don't think it looks bad. And we're going to do that all the way through to the other side once again. Like that. And now we are going to have enough slabs to finish the upper floor. Perfect. Let me do that right now. Just gonna walk across here. And oh goodness, look at that perfect calculation. I know there's a ladder here, but now we've got stairs too. And let me hang, oh, we can hang them right in the crossing, right? Okay, oops, missing this one. Very nice. Okay, that already, let me just put away the torch, but that already lights things up pretty well. I don't think monsters can spawn even here. But just in case we can add, we can actually use the torches, why not? In this texture pack, when you add them, they get this nice little wall mount, so that's nice. Yeah, and that's perfectly well lit. You've got some light coming in here through the trapdoors because they're opaque. Well, they've got holes in them, but with Minecraft logic, they're opaque. That's the idea. Alright, excellent. Very, very nice. Now, I want to add some fences possibly. I don't think I prepared those, but I've got a couple of other things as well. I've got some barrels that we're going to use for other things. Got some empty barrels, got some shelves. Maybe we can also add some stone piles from all of this cobblestone. Don't need the door for now, don't need this. I'm gonna sort this out later. Okay, great. So, let me make some fences. I need the oak for that. Maybe we can make the fences from another wood. We've got some birch planks, but not... Oh, we got stripped birch wood, perfect. So we can use all of that to make fences. Need a lot of sticks, perfect. And that's 6 fences, definitely not enough, but we're gonna handle that right now. 24, we're gonna make a couple more. Why not just use all the birch? I think birch saplings I didn't bring over from the island, but we can always just row over at another time and get that. Yes, let me make some more sticks here. And let's use all this birch wood. 42, that's got to be enough. Very nice. And what I wanted to make with these barrels is some barrels filled with things. So we can add beetroot. We can add carrots. You need 3 to craft a barrel that's filled with a certain thing. And you can add sweet berries as well, of which we have plenty, fortunately. And you know what? We can bring this wheelbarrow over. Look at this. Isn't that nice? We're a bit slow like this. Oh, the animation is a bit off. We're a bit slow like this, but we can bring this thing over. And so it looks, it looks nice. It's like we have this thing here in case we need to move anything that's, piled up in there. Not in a barrel, not in a pack. We can just put that in the wheelbarrow and carry it anywhere. Let me make a crafting table, because that's always a good idea. At several different spots. Maybe we can have a little workshop area here eventually. So I'm just going to use these barrels. And let me add some beetroots. We've got 2 beetroot barrels from that. Some carrot barrels. We're primarily going for decoration with this, of course. And the sweet berries, of course. Let me make 3 of those as well. We'll see how many we need. But that's very nice. And we have these shelves. So I'm thinking if we're going to have some kind of workshop area, it's probably a good idea to add these shelves over here. Not everywhere, but that's good enough. And maybe we can have a couple shelves over here as well, but from the very bottom. Like that, so you can still put something on top. I still got 5 more. Okay, I think that's plenty. I think that's enough. We've got different shelves as well in this Modpack, onto which you can put actual items, as in just right click with an item. Onto this one I think you can just put it, yeah, you just put the actual block on top, as if, as if it was any other block, but this looks good to me as well. So let's add all of these food barrels. I think I'm going to place them up here. And then down there we're going to have more like construction materials and such. So let's add 1, 2. Let's put this over here. Let's put the beetroots over there. And let's put the carrots maybe so that we can also get around them. Let's put the carrots on the other side. Like that. Okay. It doesn't look too nice from here. It just looks like barrels. You need to be a little bit higher up so that you can see all of that. But that's fine. Let me add all of the fences that we made. Make sure we don't fall off anywhere. Yes, maybe I will add just one more over there. Need a couple more oak slabs for that, but this is okay. This is fine. It does the biggest part of the job. Yeah, like that, and then we're gonna add some more slabs right there. I can actually do that right now because I've got this oak wood. Let's turn it into slabs, and we just need to add these two. So good. Okay, very nice. Now let's see how many hay bales and oat bales and whatever bales we can make. Let's see how much our crops have grown since. Oh goodness, still very early. This is slower than a normal Minecraft day, but it felt like we spent more time, so I'm happy that we still have this much. Very nice. Good old school Minecraft farming. So good. Who doesn't like that? As I said, if you haven't tried it, you really should try planting some plants on your own. Doesn't have to be crops for utility, but I'm telling you, it's good stuff. Ah, sorry, this was I need to plant the oat here. Goodness, oat grows like crazy. And there's so much of it too. Gonna be big oat farmers very soon. Perfect, gonna plant the wheat as well. Just another round on the farm, on this cozy little beach farm. Very nice, gonna plant over here as well. Trying to stick with the existing blobs of crops. Very nice, and the barley. The barley's slow, but that's fine. We are in no rush, as you remember. Oh, I thought that was done, but apparently not. Okay, let's see how many bales we can make from all of that. I've got some more barley here, and that's it. Oh, you can also make, hold on, onions. Oh yes, we've got so many onions too, and maybe sweet berries. Let me try something else. I might have another idea for making good-looking storage things. I need a couple more sweet berries. Oh, look at this area, it's so beautiful. Just give me a few more. I would like about 18. Oh, we can't get that. That's a shame. Give me that, give me that. And we've got 17. One more, please. Excellent. And look at that. The strawberries are also already bearing fruit. Oh, nice. So if I'm correct, and if we have the correct mods installed, we should be able to turn this into crates. Not barrels, but crates. Let's see. So let's make this into bales. I've got 2 of those. We can make 1 oat bale, and we can make 1 hay bale, for which you won't have space. So let me just make some space. Just some of these unused materials we don't need over here at the fences either. So yes, hay bale, please. Thank you so much. And I think, oh yes, look at that bag of beetroots. How about the onions? Yes, bag of onions. 3 of them. And how about the berries? Ah, that doesn't work. That's fine. Oh, look how many things we've got. Amazing. And we've still got the empty barrels. Also good for decoration. So, let's see. I'm gonna put the beetroots next to the beetroots. Perfect. Can we still fit here? We can't. Oh, I hope I can break this and it stays together. Oh, good. I thought it was going to drop 9 beetroots and we have to recraft it. But that's not the case. Alright, I'm gonna add the bags of onions right over here. You know what? I'm going to add an empty barrel here and we're gonna put the bag of onions on top. Oops, can we? We can. Can we add them sideways? No, that's alright. So the beetroots can come over there maybe? Yes, perfect. And some empty barrels as well, just for decoration. One over here and some other kind of barrels. Looks like we're storing some liquids in them or something. Okay, looks like a nice, plentiful barn after harvest. Good, and now we've got all of these bales that I'm going to put in this corner. So hey bale, we're gonna put these together. When we have much more, we can differentiate. All right, there's all the cereals. I got a couple more empty barrels. I can just put them here for now. Why not? And some construction materials are still missing in the workshop area. Okay. Alright. Let's get on that. For construction materials, what have we got? We've got sand. Sand's not a bad idea. Sand is, you can just pile that up in a warehouse. And some dirt as well, why not? It's good that we have that wheelbarrow. Yes, and that's about everything. I think that's construction material. Oh, we've got pumpkins. Almost forgotten about them. Cabbage seeds, beetroot seeds, wooden water bucket. Can I place this? No, I can't. Oh, give me back my water. Thank you. That's okay. We can do some CIT items as well, so we can place a wooden water bucket onto the floor here. Gonna do that in a second. As for pumpkins, I'm not sure what I'm going to put on these shelves just yet, but that's fine. The sand, let's start with the sand over here. We can put it in this corner, make it look like as if it's piled up. We can do the same thing with the dirt. That's about enough, I think. Don't need to fill everything up to its absolute maximum. And maybe we've got a few too many empty things in here. I'm going to place the pumpkins over here instead of these two empty barrels. Okay, that's fine. That's very nice. Right. Alright. Absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect, my friends. So let's make some CIT items and then we're going to finish. We've done the garden today, the forest garden. We've planted all of that. We've gathered a bunch of materials. And we are making this barn look amazing. So let's get to that final part. Excellent. So look at all of this beautiful decoration that I have here. As you know, the only thing or the only reason we can cheat in this game is for decoration. So I'm going to find some item frames over here, and I'm going to, oops, 64. That works. I didn't mean to get so many, but that's the idea, because we can only place these things within item frames. But of course they're not really going to give us any advantage. They're just going to be there for decoration. So for the workshop area, I have a couple of things here. We might not need all of these shelves to begin with. So I'm going to remove these. I'm going to put this here on the wall. I'm going to put this here on the floor here, turn it around, and in fact, why don't I put this over here, and I can put this on top of the crafting table. Oops, like that. That's very nice. That's a little workshop area. Can we make some tables, I wonder? Definitely can. Side table, oak table. That's something that I could use. Let's make a couple tables. Or do you have like a desk or something? Yeah, something like that. Oak desk. That looks a little bit cheaper to make, so let's make that. I need some oak planks, but a few more than that, and I need sticks that I haven't got. So let's make that right now. Just so that little workshop area is perfect. Need some sticks for this, and then I think this was the recipe. How does this look? Yeah, why not? Why not? Let me make another one. Excellent. Does it connect? Oh, it does. So good. That's amazing. Okay, I quite like this. This really does look like a nice little workshop area. We could add this little torch here for illumination. Or maybe a lantern on top of one of these shelves. How about that? Oh, that's nice. That's great. Alright, let's see what else we can do. I've got these. The beetroot, the sweet berries, the pumpkin, the wheat seeds, and some more beetroots. This is for above. So we're going to add this over here. This is just a little crate of beetroots still within the soil. And what's really nice about this is that, as you can see, this takes the texture of the oak wood. So if I'd used another texture pack, it would look fitting within that texture pack as well, which is very nice. And we can just add this one little beetroot over here. It fell out of that bag, but perfect. This little beetroot corner, I really like it. Oh no, wait, this is the sweet berries corner. That's alright. That's also fine. Speaking of sweet berries, indeed I have a few, so let me indeed do that. Let me take that bag of beetroots, goes to the beetroots. Beetroot that fell out comes here. Sweet berries that might have fallen out come here. Now of course this one unfortunately doesn't take after the original texture. So this is a bit blue, but it's okay. It's, you know, it's not, it's a little bit red, but it's this dark red. We've got even some pinks over here, so some color variation is allowed, I believe. I've got this pumpkin to go maybe over here, again to give it some variation. And I've got some wheat seeds in a bag that I think I'm going to put. Oh, that's going to look nice on one of these shelves, absolutely. Look at that, perfect. Now, I've got this torch that is made to look like a storm lantern. Good to have it right next to the entrance, I would say. But we've already got some illumination on this side, so let me add it here. Oops. I guess I need to add that over there and then... And I just wasted the item frame. The game got us, friends. Nonetheless, we're going to add this water bucket. Maybe over here, why not? That looks great. And on these shelves, we're going to add some other things. So, coal, charcoal, iron ingots, copper ingots. I think that's it. We can place here. So look at this. I'm just going to... Perfect. How about some more over here? Just two. And gotta climb up there. Where's the dirt? Where's the dirt when I need to climb? Give me that dirt, please. Thank you so much. Also looking if there's anything else I could add from this one. Or maybe the barrel. No, not really. Okay. Then let me just place the ingots. Make things look nice. So, there. That's all I can place, not a problem. We can do the same thing with the copper. And we can do the same thing on the other shelf, which we're going to. How about then, yeah, let's make this the iron shelf. And let's make that the copper shelf. Very nice. Oops, I didn't have the shovel here. Okay, very nice. Looks so plentiful. It's nice when you have things organized like this, isn't it? Let me also put this normal coal here. I can stack 4 of those. And I think that's pretty enough. Of course, it's a barn. It's always going to be kind of a big space without too many details in one spot, but that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I think that's everything that I had in mind for the barn as well. We've got all of this, all of these berries and beetroots and onions and pumpkins. And sorry, these are the onions, those are carrots. And we've got these materials, the bales, we've got some building materials, and this little workshop. I think I'm very happy with this. I don't know about you, friends. I hope you like it too. So today, I have to say we've done quite a nice work. Oops, there's a raid over there. This is where we say goodbye for today, but stay tuned for the next video where we add more crops, build a greenhouse, a grape plantation, and renovate the house in proper cottagecore fashion. I thank you very much for watching the video. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you again, and goodbye.